Hi there everyone, it's me, TheDomotaku, and today we're talking about the newest anime in the season, Record of... Okay, this is hella weird because it's called Record of Grancrest War, or Grancrest Tosenki or something like that, right? So essentially, if you guys understand the English translation, then you guys are a JRPG player like me. Good for you guys. But if you guys also, well, they probably have it in Japan too, but essentially this series is based off a JRPG called like the Record of Agrest War series, right? Or Record of Blah War or something like that, right? So yeah, when I saw that this was based off those JRPGs that I played on the Xbox somewhere in there, then I was like super excited because it was the first one and it's not a game that I haven't played yet. So that made me super hyped for the series. And yeah, this series is sort of follows the Agrest. It's not even called Agrest. It's the Record of War series, right? So for those of you who don't know or who hasn't played a Record of Agrest War game, so essentially, you know, it follows the game, or the style of the game follows like a JRPG sort of thing, where you have evil in the world, you know, fantasy world. You have a great evil, and then you have our main protagonists have to assemble a party and defeat this evil, right? That's the thing about that. That's the basics, synopsis of Agrest War games, right? But the twist is usually, well, the twist I've played, but then usually you have some kind of twist where you meet this like contractor or this character, the one I forget her name in this episode, but you meet this character and there's like a system in the game, or like a feature that's prominent in the Agrest War series, which is mating. I'm not joking with you guys. It's a rated M for mature game. It's called mating. Yeah, basically. So one of the features in the games is choosing like one of your party companions, right, and mating with them and creating a child that would continue on their story and lineage for a certain amount of time till the end of the game, right? So if that happens in this show, then I'm gonna applaud this series because they did it. But then I have no clue if they will do this in this series, because so the premise of this show, right, the Grancrest War, I cannot get used to that. I keep thinking it's Grancrest War, Record of Grancrest War, it essentially follows the same plot. You have this evil, you have these two nations fighting, right? And essentially they come together in a wedding of one of their offspring to bring peace to the nations, but then it's invaded by a giant monster or evil, right? And then it basically kills the leaders of the two nations. They get separated and then they go back to fighting and stuff, and then evil monsters start lurking around in the whole world and stuff. And essentially the only way to combat these monsters is the power of crests. And crests, like, you know, being like an emblem or a symbol, right? It's like my symbol's a D or something like that because I'm the Domotaku or something like that, right? And you know, the power of your crest, the power of your crest determines the power or strength of yourself, like your level and shit, right? So, you know, the stronger and more grand, like huge your crest is, then it shows how strong you are. So our main character, a name escapes me right now, I'm sorry, I've been watching like 20 anime, so I don't remember every single person's name in my animes. Okay, our main character, who created his crest on his own, wanted to make a crest and defeat the evil in the world and bring peace. That's simple, right? And then our other character, who is a magic or mage or wizard, forms a contract with him to, you know, upgrade his crest and hopefully lead him to do his job, or fulfill his dream, and, you know, defeat the evil and then bring peace to the world. Simple, right? So that's sort of what I think is the case. But so that's what well, in the first episode, right, you have them form the contract, you see the fighting, it's like sword fighting and stuff. There's probably magic in the world, but we haven't seen it yet. And you know, you basically have him establish a foundation, and you have him upgrade his crest, and then you have him form, like, get a fortress, or like a what do you call it? Like, you have his land in his own like base or some shit like that. So he's essentially becoming like the lord of his own land sort of thing. He's building his way up so that he can, you know, become like a knight, or like, you know, like be in power and like try to help and defeat evil, basically, right? That was the first episode. So my thoughts. So if you're a fan of the Agorist War or Record of, I don't even know what it's called. It's called the Agorist War, but it's called Grancrest War. So if you're a fan of those JRPGs, then this is exactly the same thing except via anime format. Now, I'm understanding if they're gonna do all the things that are featured in Agorist War games, like the mating. Possible, because you watch the opening, there's a bunch of females in this group, so it's possible that you can probably do this thing, and then you have the son carry on in a second season or some shit like that, and then like finally defeat the evil, right? Maybe, I don't know. But then if this thing goes for 13 episodes, then that's probably impossible unless you do it by the halfway point, which doesn't make sense either, because I don't know what's going on anymore. Yeah, basically. So if I were to put this in a short summary, the Agorist War series, and this series in general, features our hero and our two characters, right? Our main protagonist forming a contract with the chosen one that will help him lead to defeat the evil in the world and shit, right? And eventually, along the way, you get stronger, you develop friendships and stuff, and essentially, towards the end, you will mate with someone, and that son will carry out your will and do the deed, and then defeat the evil truly. That's how it works in the Agorist games. The Agorist games are like freaking like 100-hour long hours and plays and shit, so I don't know how that'll translate in anime format, but there's a lot of characters and a cast and a party to, to meet and unfold, as we see in the opening. So this is just the beginning. So yeah, I like this show. You know, it's simple. You have our hero who forms contract with the lady, wants to bring peace to the world, gets stronger. That's it. That's basically it. That's your typical good versus evil hero in the fantasy world setting story thing. Except with Crest this time, not with magic and stuff. Well, that's technically magic, but you know, with Crest this time, with Grancrest. So yeah, that's a record of Grancrest War. Oof, I have no clue how to explain this series, to be honest, but hopefully I explained it to some extent. If you guys have played the record of Agorist War games, then let me know in the comments below, and what do you guys think of this adaptation, or like this series, because it's really different, and I would love to see this in a game. Honestly, you could easily translate everything they did in this thing in the game into a visual novel as dungeon JRPG game. It's pretty easy, it's not that hard. And if you guys have not played the games, then what do you guys think about the series? You know, I'm curious to see, as someone who hasn't played the games, but then what comes in this series. What do you guys think of the show? Do you think it's kind of meh? Do you think it's okay? Do you think it's cool? Let me know. So anyways, I'll see you guys later for the next video that comes in this channel. I'll probably not be talking about this series a lot, but then you never know, to be honest, unless something cool happens. Then yeah, so I'll see you guys later. Take care guys, Matane, and have fun watching all the anime this season. I think I'm done now.